These frames hold whispers, tales untold, fingers tracing memories cold, edges curling, time's embrace, echoes linger in a faded face. Old photographs in a dusty glow, frozen moments the heart won't let go. Each smile a world, each tear a sea. They built the story of you and me. Sepia skies and shadows drawn, laughter faded but never gone. Pages turning, a quiet storm. In these prints I find your form. Years dissolve, yet here we stand, a gallery held in a trembling hand. Silent witnesses through the years, faded ink, but it still draws tears. Old photographs in a dusty glow, frozen moments the heart won't let go. Each smile a world, each tear a sea. They built the story of you and me. The corners bend but never break, a record kept for memory's sake. Through the blur, your face still clear. You remain, though you're not here. Dim light dancing on a velvet frame, edges worn yet calling out my name. Sepia whispers, shadows softly sigh, moments in the past where the heart can't lie. Old photographs where time holds its breath, stolen seconds, life before it met death. Fingers trace lives inked in a golden hue, fading memories forever feel brand new. Curled corners, cradling secrets untold. Eyes in the picture, stories that unfold. Grainy love letters tucked in quiet years. Snapshots of laughter layered with tears. Dusty boxes, ghosts of yesterdays. Silent echoes dreaming in the haze. Fingers, souls, they shimmer and ignite. In their fragile glow, I see basement in their gleam, framing fragments of someone's lost dream. Memoirs ink-stained, the light bends through the cracks. Chronicles engraved beneath coffee black. Tempered moments prismed in their gleam, framing fragments of someone's lost dream. Dusty edges in a brittle frame. Memories flicker, a candle's faint flame. Sepia whispers, shadows that gleam. Scratched up corners cradle a dream. Old photographs where the stories reside. Frozen whispers from days that the heart won't forget in these frames. Our souls are set. Smoky smells from a bygone room. Laughter trapped between joy and gloom. Fingers linger, tracing the past. Captured, too bright to outlast. Faces fade, but feelings stay sharp. Paper melodies echo like a harp. Corners worn, but the love intact. Each image a postcard of abstract. Leaks kiss the edges so soft. Ghosts of a life fixed gently aloft. Eyes alive on a frozen night. They stare back, holding old light. Old photographs where the stories reside. Frozen whispers from days that glide. Time can erase what the heart won't forget in these frames. Our souls are set. Faces fade, the fins so soft. Ghosts of a life fixed gently aloft. Eyes alive on the frozen night. They stare back, holding old light. Old photographs where the stories reside. Frozen whispers from days that